So for phase 2, we have the upward squat. We will start with the ankle joint, and the action here would be plantar flexion because the angle between the shin and the ankle become farther apart as we go up, and the contraction here would be concentric because you are going up against gravity. And the muscles working here at the ankle joint doing plantar flexion would be flexor digitorum longus, flexor hallucis longus, proneus brevis, proneus longus, the soleus, tibialis posterior, and also the gastrocnemius. And now at the knee joint, it goes from being flexed to extended as you go up. And this will also be concentric contraction, same reason, because you're going up against gravity. And the muscles working here would be the vastus intermedius, the vastus lateralis, the vastus medialis, and also the rectus femoris. And then also here at the hip joint, we have extension because here at the bottom of the squat, the hip is flexed. It's closer to the knee than right here. It becomes close to farther apart. And then this will also be a concentric contraction. And the muscles that in the hip that do extension would be the adductor magnus, the biceps femoris, the gluteus maximus, the semimembranosus, and then also the semitendinosus. And then here in phase 2, we have two actions going on at the trunk and spine. One of them we have is bracing. Throughout the whole exercise, you are bracing your core, which would be an isometric contraction, and the muscles that do that would be the internal oblique, the external oblique, the rectus abdominis, the iliopsoas, the rectus spinae, and also the quadratus lumborum. And then the other action that we have for the trunk and spine would be cervical flexion, because here at the neck, you are flexing your knee, you're flexing your neck to be extended at the bottom of the squat, but as you go up, the neck is flexed, because if it was extended, then you'd be looking up towards the ceiling, which you don't want. You want to look straight. So it goes from being extended to flexed. And then this would be a concentric contraction, which would be the sternocleidomastoid working in this action. And then the shoulder, we have flexion working, which would be isometric because throughout the whole phase, the shoulder is flexed, is forward, instead of back, which would be extended. And then the muscle that does shoulder flexion would be the pectoralis, the major upper fibers, the anterior deltoid, and also the coracobrachialis. And then at the shoulder girdle, we have elevation and upward rotation. And then the contraction would be isometric because throughout the whole exercise, the shoulders are elevated and they're rotated upward because they are paired together. And then the muscles that work here are the levator scapulae, the rhomboids, upper trap, middle trap, trapezius middle, trapezius lower, and also the serratus anterior. And then also at the elbow, it is flexed throughout the whole phase. See here, it's flexed, and then when you go up, it's also flexed. So that would be an isometric contraction. And the muscles that do flexion at the elbow would be the anconeus and the triceps brachii. And then at the wrist, it's extended at the bottom and extended at the top, so that's why it will also be an isometric contraction. And the muscle working here would be the flexor carpi radialis. And then finally we have hand flexion, which would be concentric. And then the muscles that do flexion at the hand would be the flexor digitorum superficialis, the flexor digitorum profundus, and then also the flexor pollicis longus.